Hey guys, it is me. It is TK Barlow from the Barlow Group Tax and Accounting Firm. So listen, I hope you are out there crushing your goals as we enter into a new tax season and as we enter into a new year of 2024. So I want to share with you a couple of things that I see a lot, and I want you to be able to avoid these mistakes as we enter into this new tax season. Okay. So, first thing is this business entity. A lot of business entrepreneurs, they fail to really understand their business structure, or sometimes they even forget, how they have established their business, because most times and oftentimes entrepreneurs will have another company or have someone else set up their business. And so when this happens, we kind of, maybe we don't get the paperwork, or we don't keep the records. Um, and so by doing that, we kind of lose focus of what and how our business is actually set up. But if you have this question, it's very important for you to get confirmation on your business structure, because sometimes when we are doing, a client's taxes, and we that question comes up, okay, well, how is your business structure? Then they may say, oh, I don't know, or I'm not sure. And so if that is you, you definitely need to get confirmation on your business structure. And then once you get confirmation, also know that business structure, the deadlines, the forms, the regulation, all of that would definitely vary depending on how your business is set up. So once you have confirmation, you need to dig deeper and get all of the information you can to make sure that you are compliant in that business structure. Okay. So the next thing is this is bookkeeping. A lot of people say, TK, when should I start keeping my books? And the true answer to this question is you need to start bookkeeping when you receive when you first start receiving income, when you make that first transaction, when you buy that first piece of equipment. That is when you need to start doing your books. Okay. So the first transaction you make is when you need to start doing your books. Now, whether you need to hire a bookkeeper, that is a different conversation. That is more based on what your budget really looks like for your business. Can you afford a bookkeeper when you are first starting your business? Most of the time, the answer to that question is no. And so you're probably going to have to use spreadsheets, or you can use a log book or a ledger, something where you are simply writing down all of your expenses, where you are writing down all of your income. That is how you would start to keep your books, and make sure that you are keeping them updated. All right. And you also want to keep all of your receipts, and you don't have to keep the paper copies, but you can definitely take a picture of them. So make sure you're keeping your receipts, and that you're documenting all of your expenses and your income. All right. So that's one mistake that I want you to avoid. And that is not keeping your books updated. Keep those books updated. It is very imperative for you at the end of the year when it's time to have your taxes filed. Because what you don't want to do is to have to pay someone for a bookkeeping cleanup. That is where we would have to go back all 12 months of the year and gather all of your expenses and gather all of your income to put a profit and loss statement together for you. So again, one common mistake that you definitely want to avoid is keeping those staying on top of your books. You have to stay on top of your bookkeeping. Okay. So another mistake that I often see is when it's time for us to hire a tax professional. So one thing that I did back in my business when I first started, it was actually a daycare business. I just hired the first tax professional that I saw. She was cheap. And I felt like, this is going to be okay. It's going to be a pretty easy transition. She should know what she's doing. But how many of you guys know that tax preparers they're not a one size fit all? That year I ended up having to pay taxes. I had a tax bill that year, and it was because I did not ask the questions that I needed to ask. I did not do my research on the tax preparer that I was using. She was not well experienced with with business tax preparation. So this is a huge mistake, guys. I want you to do your due diligence, ask questions, research, make sure they are experienced with business tax preparation, and as well as within your industry, whatever industry that you're working in, you should ask them, are you experienced in blah, 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 whatever your industry in. And then another thing that you can also ask is if they are experienced in your business entity. Like you would ask, okay, are you experienced with filing partnership taxes, or are you experienced in filing S corp taxes? So ask those questions. You want to find someone that is a good fit for you, someone that is going to be someone that you are going to be comfortable with asking these questions. Okay, so let's do a quick recap. Some of the mistakes that entrepreneurs often see or some of the mistakes entrepreneurs often have are these. Is the bookkeeping. They don't have their books in order. Another thing is that they are confused on their business entity. Another thing is they, try to find the cheapest tax professional, and that is a huge mistake. And lastly, guys, is tax planning. You want to be able to tax plan throughout the year. You don't want it to be January 12th, and this is the first time that you are actually looking at your numbers, or this is the first time you're having someone review your numbers. Okay. Tax planning is something that really needs to be done throughout the year, but at least before December 31st. Because as long as you're looking at your numbers before December 31st, that is where you're able to put in tax strategy. Okay. So you're able to look and see if you need to take more deductions, or you're able to look and see if you need to put money into an investment account. And so as long as you're doing that before December 31st, it's totally legal, and you're able to kind of strategize a little bit more. But if you're waiting to after December 31st, then it's not too many different tax strategies that we were able to help you with to try to break down or try to limit that tax liability. So again, failure to tax plan is a huge mistake that entrepreneurs make. And so with all of these things, if you need help with identifying your business entity, if you need help with getting your books cleaned up, if you need help with tax planning, you can definitely get on our calendar, and let's see how the Barlow Group can really support you in these areas. Because I want you to take full benefit or take full advantage in all of these areas. When it comes to your bookkeeping, when it comes to tax planning, when it comes to maximizing those deductions and minimizing that tax bill. Like, I don't want to see any entrepreneurs having to pay Uncle Sam more than what they are required to pay. And so I want to see you on the calendar. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm going to put a link below for you to hop on our calendar so that we can really chat one-on-one. But you can also send me an email at hello@tkbarlow.com. If you just want to shoot me an email, that is fine too. All right. So in the meantime, cheers to your success, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.